Hey everyone, it's Rachel here from the Shades of Orange, and I'm incredibly excited to bring you a book haul today. I rarely get an opportunity to do book hauls, so I was really excited to film this. I've been collecting these books over the last couple months, and the last one I was waiting for just came in the mail this week, so I thought it was time to film a book haul and show you what I picked up recently. Now, I've talked to you numerous times about my new book buying plan where I'm trying to only buy books that I've already read and loved, and subsequently would be interested in rereading in the future. And so the first three books I'm going to show you are all books that I've already previously read and picked up because I just love them, and I know that at some point in the future I will be rereading them. The first book, incredibly excited. I wanted to buy this book since I first read it. I can't believe I've actually waited this long and held off. I got this book at a thrift shop for $5, which is a really good price in Canada for a thrift shop book, particularly one that's a lot newer, and that is Gone Girl by, of course, Gillian Flynn. This book is incredibly popular, so I think most of you know what it's about. It's a mystery thriller about two people, Nick and Amy goes missing on their 5-year anniversary. This book was the book that got me out of my university reading slump. I read this book when it first came out, and this is the book that just got me back into reading. After I read this book, that was it. I was back into reading mode, and I just have such fond memories of it. For me, this was the perfect thriller. I know it's not for everyone, but it was definitely the book for me. I just adored it. And the fact that even though it's a mystery novel, the fact that I'm very interested in rereading it tells you a lot about how much I love it. I don't care that I already know what happens. It's not so much getting to the end for me, but just reading Gillian Flynn's amazing writing. I just love how she weaves together her stories. And one of my favorite things is how Flynn writes the relationship between Nick and Amy. I just find there's such a realistic place where she starts from, and just is really honest about the struggles of a long-term relationship and just how the relationship changes. Obviously, she definitely goes there in this book, and it's not just a simple story of two people's love life and really takes things to the extreme, but I just adore this one. I just think she's such a brilliant writer. Love this, cannot wait to reread it. I think I'm going to reread this honestly the next month or two because I love it so much and I've only read it once. Now, on the same shopping trip to the thrift store, I also picked up another book for $5, and no surprise for me, it's also by Gillian Flynn. This is Dark Places. You guys all know I love Gillian Flynn. The only book I still need to buy is Sharp Objects. This one, Dark Places, I read this year and really enjoyed it. This one is so creepy. I feel like no one really talks about how messed up this book is when they talk about it on BookTube. It's not for everyone. I feel like Gone Girl is a lot more mainstream, while this one is weird. There were times reading this where I honestly thought about putting it down and just not picking it up again. But I'm really glad I got all the way to the end because Gillian Flynn is such a master at weaving all these pieces together and then pulling them into this brilliant conclusion. And I just love this book so much. I probably won't reread this book very soon because I did only read it in January. However, I know I want to read in the future, so I'm really happy to pick it up. I'm also happy that I got this edition. I've seen a lot of newer editions that have been redone to match the cover of Gone Girl, but this is more similar to the edition I originally read, and I just really like this original cover. Now, the next book I picked up is a lot more lighthearted than the last two I just showed you, and don't worry, it's not from Gillian Flynn if that's not your thing. I do have other books in this book haul. And the book that I picked up I got at a book sale. This book I've already read and loved. I wasn't originally going to buy it because it's honestly not my top favorite book, but I only gave it, say, 4 stars instead of 5 stars on Goodreads, but I still love it. I was going through the bookshelves and was just browsing through, and I started rereading this right at the book sale, and I realized how much I loved it and wanted to reread it. And so I ended up picking up Confessions of a Shopaholic by Sophie Kinsella. This is the first book that I read by her, and I just think it's the quintessential rom-com chick lit book. It's so funny, and I'm one who normally honestly doesn't enjoy books that are supposed to be funny. I tend not to laugh when I'm supposed to, but this one was laugh out loud funny for me. I don't read a lot of the chick lit type of books, but this one was just perfect. And like I said, I was in the bookstore and started reading through it and realized that this is the kind of book that I could probably reread over and over again. Just that book when you just need something light and comforting and fun. And for me, this was the perfect book. I've read a lot of personal finance books, so I'm very familiar with books that talk about saving money, and I just found it so enjoyable to watch this poor main character attempt to save money in the most ridiculous ways, and of course ending up spending much more money in her attempts to get her spending under control. I just thought it was so funny, and Sophie Kinsella is such a brilliant writer. I haven't actually read any of the other books in this series, but I definitely want to sometime in the future, and I can't wait to reread this again. Now, the last two books I'm going to show you I actually have not yet read, but I have really good reasons for why I picked them up, and I'm incredibly excited to read them soon. The first one is a really cool story. I was at work one day and my bosses were going to run some errands, and they asked if I could watch their dogs. They were at the office that day. They have these cute little white dogs, Ella and Sebastian, and they asked if I wouldn't mind, playing with them over lunch. And of course, like, sure, no problem, these dogs are adorable. So I had a really fun lunch hour. I took them outside and it was just a lot of fun. And then as a thank you gift for watching their dogs, which was not a problem, my boss was amazing and picked me up a book. So wow, I have the best boss. And the book that they picked up for me was The Book Thief by Marcus Zusak. This of course is a young adult book about World War II, and I know it's most famous because it is narrated by Death, which sounds really interesting. I've wanted to read this book for quite some time because of BookTube. It's quite beloved. So many people enjoy this book, and I've heard rave reviews about it, so I knew I wanted to pick it up at some time. Considering it's young adult, this book is actually quite long. It comes in at, I think, over 500 pages, so I was really surprised by that. I really hope I enjoy this one. I know it's supposed to be a little bit slow at the beginning, but I've heard that it has a really great ending, and I just can't wait to read this one. Hopefully very soon I'll pick this one up. Now, this last book I'm incredibly excited about. It just came in the mail this week and I can't wait to start reading it. I got the opportunity to have a publisher send me a book, and of course I'll be doing an honest review of that. You can expect that up my channel once I've read the book, and I'm incredibly excited about this one. It sounds so good and completely up my alley. And that is The War of Roses by Warren Adler. This is a book about a couple, Oliver and Barbara Rose, and I understand that they're married, but obviously things are going to go from bad to worse. And this book is just about the destruction of their marriage and their nasty divorce. And I don't know what it is, but I love domestic drama. There's something about reading about it that is just so fun for me. And so I'm incredibly excited for this one. It's not a brand new book, so I really feel that this is a great book to see a bit of the foundations of domestic dramas, because since Gone Girl, I feel like everyone is writing something in that genre and trying to get a quick buck. But this came before that, and I just really look forward to seeing how it plays out. I know it was made into a movie, which I haven't seen yet. Just incredibly excited to read this. So I will definitely let you know when I'll be reading this. I plan on reading it quite soon because I don't want to leave the publisher waiting too long. So I'll try to sneak it in even this month, and I cannot wait to read it. So those are all the books I picked up recently. I'm incredibly excited to read the ones I haven't, and honestly I'm really looking forward to reading the ones I have already read. I just want to read them again because they're that good. I'm such a rereader. I know other people aren't, but I definitely love rereading my favorite books over and over again. So happy to have them in my collection and get a chance to reread them soon. Those are all the books that I picked up. Please let me know if you've read any of them. What are your thoughts? If you haven't read them, if you have any questions or opinions, I'd love to know. I hope everyone is having a really good day because I sure am. I'll talk to y'all soon. Okay, bye.